What's going on, agents? Biz here with another Division 2 video. I've been messing around with a lot of my gear sets, and for good reason. Today, in this video, we'll go over why you should be playing the game using gear sets, especially if you're on the proficiency grind. I'll also dust off 2 different healer builds that pack an unusual punch with one of the new exotic weapons. So keep it locked in. As always, if you're new here or you've been around since Reclaimer builds were all the rage, you are welcome here. This channel is zeroing in on 1,000 subscribers, and I am so grateful that you all come through as we get better together. If you haven't already though, man, we only need 14 more people to hit that like and subscribe so I can crack more than a can of liquid death, if you know what I mean. Take a second, help the channel that helps you out, it'd really mean a lot. While you do that, let's strap up, crack an ice cold liquid death, and get down to it. Okay, so this proficiency grind is no joke. I have been playing, I feel, a lot more regular than usual, and I am still only expertise level 5. Wild. These devs really gave us something to grind for, and I, for one, am happy to keep coming back, so thank you. Something I've learned in my time on the grind is there are multipliers to this proficiency madness. As it would turn out, you get more XP in a couple different ways. Your proficiency ranking will move faster if you play with more players, for example. As the amount of enemies scale to the amount of players, I mean, this is an obvious for sure. One piece of intel a few of my guys I play regularly with didn't know was that your proficiency will also rank up faster the more of a specific gear you have on. I mean, if you haven't noticed, there are a lot of players running 6-piece Badger Tough and stuff like that. They might not be terrible at this game, that's just being efficient on the grind. With this in mind, it didn't take long for me to realize a great strategy to organically level up proficiency without feeling totally useless would be to put on a 4-piece gear set and play to the strength of that gear set. For those just joining this channel, gear sets fill a specific niche when it comes to building. They're really handy for players new or returning to the game as they don't need a lot to be good. I mean, shoot, look at Heartbreaker. It's got the best of me, and I keep on coming back incessantly. Hashtag Mariah. Gear sets are plug and play, and you can be good with them. Point blank. I'm going to be riding these gear sets until I get them all fully proficient. But while I do, I'm going to take you all on a journey with the builds I'm setting up. My goal is to put a new spin on these gear sets, so if you have been around, you can have fun too. If there's a cool way you're setting up a gear set build, drop it in the comments below, and let's get better together. To start this series, we're going to take a stroll into Healer Land with Future Initiative. Now this gear set is the way to be a healer. We get a 2-piece bonus to repair skills, we get a 3-piece bonus to skill haste and duration, we get a 4-piece bonus called ground control, which not only will heal any allies within the area of the player you healed by 60%, it will also grant 15% extra damage to any ally at full health. Chest and backpack only make ground control dirtier with the backpack, taking that healing ability from 60 to 120%, and the chest increasing damage from 15 to 25%. Your team will have a hard time going down as long as you're up, and we like that. Now that we have the fast facts of what this gear set can do, let's take a look at the first way I built this. Now this is a somewhat straightforward way of building a pure healer with a bit of a twist. To kick it off, we begin on a survivalist specialization. I like the crossbow spec here for the extra outgoing healing along with the team buff to enemies who have a status effect. This will come in handy as our weapons will be stacking status effects on our enemies. You'll see that in a little bit though. Overall, this build is as yellow as a Coldplay hit. 6 yellow cores with everything to yellow in the attributes. Skill haste and repair skills will be what we're min-maxing here, and it works. Heading to weapons for this setup, we are trying out the new BLUESCREEN exotic LMG. This weapon comes with the Disruptor Rounds talent. Basically, shooting an enemy marks them and adds a stack to the agent up to a count of 50. When you deploy a non-shield skill, the stacks are taken off the agent, and all marked targets will get an effect triggered on them for 5 seconds, depending on how many stacks you have. 1 to 10 stacks, they're getting pulsed. 11 to 25 stacks, they're getting a pulse and a disrupt. 26 to 49, you're getting a pulse, disrupt, and a disorient. And at 50 stacks, there's a pulse, disrupt, and disorient to all marked targets and anyone within a 10-meter radius. This max stack will also be consumed immediately if any marked enemy is killed by you or an ally when you're at 50 stacks. Moving into gear, We for sure are using 4 pieces of Future Initiative. We also borrow power from the chest talent, buffing us and our team's damage to 25% when at full armor with the ground control talent activated. When we get into backpacks, we're using a strategic alignment. Now this named China Light piece will give a bonus to explosive damage and come with the perfect shock and awe talent. This will give our agent 20% skill damage and skill repair for 27 seconds following applying any status effect. Since every time we deploy a skill, we'll be applying a status effect, and this is a big part to this setup's success. Rounding out the gear, we dust off the BTSU gloves, a must for dedicated healers. These gloves come with the Transference Overclock talent. Now this will grant 15% skill haste to hives based on your skill tier. As we're at 6 skill tier, this will grant us 90% skill haste to my hive. Speaking of the hive, detonating it also refreshes skill cooldowns and grants overcharge for 15 seconds. If you're at max skill tier, that overcharge also goes to all your allies. This skill has a 120-second cooldown for your allies. Like I said, it's a must for healers. Gotta have it. Wrapping up this setup, we arrive at the skills. Now, normally on my healer, I put 2 healing skills here to be as pure of a medic as possible. I could only choose 1 heal skill with this build, so naturally I went hive. Since I'm using the strategic alignment, I gotta use a boom skill, yeah? This is where my cluster seeker comes in. And these little wonders will do over 2.5 million damage per cluster. Not to mention, when the enemy is getting these showing up their feet, odds are they're pulsed, disrupted, and disoriented from the blue screen, so they can't do anything about the smackdown that's about to befall them. Overall, I like this build. I mean, I had a hard time figuring out a purpose to this blue screen, but using it as a means to grant a damage and repair bonus to work was one of my best ideas, at least this week. I mean, ask my wife. I don't get too many of them. Anyway, that's it for the first setup. But if you're still here, you're in for a bonus build! I haven't done one of these in a minute, but I built a second Future Initiative setup that I am also having a blast with. So let's take a peek at this neat little damage hybrid. To start, we're on the Technician Specialization. You probably already know the reason. Tac Laser. Beyond that wonderful attachment, we also get an extra skill tier. This will prove very useful as we dive in. Overall, this is a 3 red, 1 blue, 4 yellow core setup with almost everything set to repair skills. I mean, we still want this build to heal, so we'll take 108% repair skills and still heal for 300,000 armor per charge of the hive. Weapon-wise, we're going to rely heavily on the Kingbreaker, and this named assault rifle comes with perfect flatline, and this talent will give 20% amplified damage to pulsed enemies. As everything will be pulsed thanks to the Tac Laser, you're basically getting an extra red core and then some from this. Moving into the gear, we see we are running 4 pieces of Future Initiative with none of the chest or backpack talents. We replaced those with a Fenris chest with Spotter to amplify damage to pulsed enemies, and a Memento to get 3 core attributes. And because it's the best item in the game. Fight me on it. Dropping down to skills, we again have the Healing Hive. Drawing similarity from the first setup, but also, I mean, if I had to choose one healing skill, I'm always going Hive. Its heals are much more robust. We also pair this with a Striker drone. As we have 5 skill tiers, this drone is going to be pesky, to say the least. And will also probably be doing the most. Overall, both of these builds are fun ways you can not only spice up Future Initiative, but also level up proficiency. I was in Countdown for maybe an hour, and went from 0 to fully proficient in Future Initiative while having a fun time and not running a crazy build as a means to an end. I know there are so many ways to level up, but I like this way. And if you have a different way you're enjoying, leave it in the comments below and share your success. Either way, that will wrap things up here. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you made it this far, please help the channel over this 1K hump. It'll mean a lot, not only to the channel, but also to your friendly neighborhood biz. I'll catch y'all next time though. Biz out.